And now, here to entertain you all, because every day he's hustling. Side Hustle Cinema.
Welcome back to the channel. Side Hustle Cinema here. Thanks for clicking on this video. And today I have a couple of spoiler-free reviews for you. We got two new 4K movies coming from Vinegar Syndrome and one of the partner labels there, and that is the 4K of Southern Comfort and the 4K of Little Darlings. And so I'll give you a little spoiler-free review, tell you what I thought about these, and we'll take a look at the packaging on here, because both these are special packaging and are a little bit on the pricier side. So if you want to know if I think it's worth picking up, stay tuned. That's what we're talking about. So let's start with Southern Comfort. This is one of the Vinegar Syndrome VSUs, so it's got that that magnetic case there. A lot of people pick these up because they're collecting. They want to get all those VSUs. Hopefully they're watching them, not just collecting them. But yeah, this one I was pretty excited about the story on this one. I thought it sounded good. I'd never seen it before, so that kind of actually it was not even on my radar. I'd never even heard of it, to be honest with you. I did not know that. I guess this one had a Scream Factory release at some point. So let's take a quick look at the packaging, and then we'll kind of dive into the story. Well, as you can see on the cover here, you got some of the Army guys, the National Guard there, going through the swamp. There you got the back. That's just all the Army guys in their canoes. And let's open this up. Of course, you always get that cool inside artwork as well. And then you got that little ribbon to help you get the booklet and the movie out of the box. And yeah, so you got some of the hillbillies that they're sort of fighting. The Louisiana swamp people. And then over here, just some more of the characters from the movie there. Very, very nice looking box. Very cool. I dig this one. Not quite as deep and as big as some of the ones that we've got in the past, but that's cool. Then we got the movie itself. Got the slip cover here, a little Southern Comfort on there. Kind of simple. Then on the back, this is pretty much a continuation. Well, it's sort of like both pictures from the inside box kind of combined on here. And then you take a look at the movie. There's the back. And does have a little bit of reversible artwork, and it's that same poster, that same image that's on a lot of the stuff there. Got a little disc art there. Then you got a little book here that I guess they feel like you need another book. Maybe that's for like the standard releases. So if you don't get this big, this big thick book that comes with it, there you go. And that's just full of, the typical stuff, pictures, essays, that kind of thing. So Southern Comfort came out in 1981, and it's got a really good cast with it. Powers Booth, Keith Carradine, and Fred Ward are in this one. And it's basically about some National Guards guys that, they're kind of, the Vietnam War's going on, so they're doing like some, I guess some jungle training. They're sent out to like do an exercise. Basically, they're using blanks and stuff though, but they're kind of just supposed to navigate and find some things in like deep in the Louisiana swamp. And Powers Booth, he's kind of a new recruit, just joined up with this troop, and he just seems like, you know, he doesn't really want to get along with anybody. He's very very grumpy in this movie. So as they're going through, they don't expect to run into as much water. It's kind of making the train really really hard to get where they're, you know, supposed to be going. And they have limited supplies, you know. They only got like one walkie-talkie. They got like one compass between all of them. That's pretty crazy. And so they come up on this camp, and you know, they see some canoes, and they decide that, you know, there's like 4 canoes there. They can take like 3 of them, and they were going to leave a note, you know, for whoever lives out there in the swamp, and that they'd bring back their canoes. Well, so they steal the canoes, and they're on their way, and then the swamp people show up, you know, the Cajuns, the, you know, sort of hillbillies, and well, you know, they're trying to communicate to them that you know, they took their boats, and they're asking them to read the note. And, you know, maybe there's a little bit of a language barrier, because a lot of them speak, you know, like French, you know, that French Creole, however you know, do in Louisiana. And so I don't even know, you know, if they understood them or not, but one of the National Guard's guys, you know, thinks it'd be funny to fire some blanks over at them. And, you know, there's no reason for these people to not think that they would be real bullets, you know? It's like the stupidest thing to do. So, you know, they get fired back on, and then, you know, one of them gets killed. And that starts a whole big, I mean, this happens pretty early in the movie, so it's not really a huge spoiler. But that's what fuels this whole big thing. So now you know, they're being hunted by these hillbillies. They have limited supplies. They lose the compass. They lose the walkie-talkie. They got no communication. They're trying to find the interstate. They're trying to find their way out of the swamp. And they're going up against some guys that have real bullets, real guns, and that know their way around. So it's pretty crazy. It turns into a pretty fun survival type movie. The group fractures apart more than it comes together. Despite their military training, you think it'd be the other way around. They'd probably rally and kind of get into their training, become a unit, but it kind of doesn't go that way. I enjoyed this. This was good. I thought it was pretty fun. It almost had horror vibes to it, you know. If they would have, they did sick some dogs on the army guys. They used some like primitive traps that were pretty cool. And yeah, and then the fighting in between the army guys was kind of fun to watch too. And the ending was very intense, you know. No spoilers there, but the ending was crazy. I actually had to look up the ending after it was over, because it just had a weird feeling to it. You know, like, you know, is everything okay? Was it not okay? You know, I won't ruin it, but look up the ending, because this movie actually has an alternate version that was played in Iran. Yeah, they made an Iranian cut of this movie, to which they made it look like the government was trying to kill these soldiers. and so they cut out certain parts of the movie. This movie's like an hour and 46 minutes long. Well, the Iranian cut is an hour and a half, something like that. So they cut out about 15 minutes to make it look like that the Americans, were hunting these American troops, kind of a cover up. And that version's not on here. I found out about that on the internet. It was kind of interesting, I thought. So they kind of have a different ending in that movie as to what happens, to everyone. So this is the better version, by the way. You don't want the Iranian version, but it was interesting to hear about it. So as far as the 4K transfer goes, I mean, I've never seen this movie, and I really don't have anything hardly to compare it to. But this is old, and it probably didn't come from the best elements, because it's got a lot of grain to it. The colors look pretty good. I'm sure it's the best it's ever looked. Because they always do a pretty good job of restoring these movies. But this isn't going to be a reference quality 4K for you. It's also in just like a 2.0 sound, so you're not going to be blown away if you're listening to this on your home theater. It's pretty much going to be very front heavy, very standard. But it did look fairly good. I mean, like, it's heavy on the grain, but the colors were fairly bright. I mean, it's a drab movie because they're in the swamp and they're all wearing green pretty much, but at the end they do kind of get with this like little village, and people are wearing more colorful clothes and things, and some of the jungle stuff looked pretty good. I just think they were working with really, really old elements that kind of held this one back a little bit. But like I said, I have no reference to it, but I'm sure it's the best that ever looked. I recommend this one. This one I liked quite a bit. Now let's take a look at Little Darlings, also in 4K. And this is another old movie that I'm going to recommend this one too, because I love this one. This is a movie that I watched many times when I was growing up, when I was younger. So that's why this one's got like a very nostalgic spot for me, and I'm just a big fan of this movie. So I paid that kind of hefty price tag. This thing was like $40, but it does come with some pretty cool packaging. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll dive into the story and a little bit on the 4K stuff. Well, this is a side-loading box here, and it also has the ribbon, to help you pull the like media book out of it. And there's the artwork. It's interesting artwork. I don't know. They kind of hide the faces of the girls there. Not sure why they did that. And even on the back, they kind of got the paint smears over the girls' faces. Not sure what that's about, but it's okay. I mean, it's an interesting looking box. It is a hard box. It's not like flimsy or anything. And it houses this pretty cool media book. And some people are going to call this a digipack, but I think they're wrong. This is pretty tall. Media books are always kind of taller. They're always big. They're always bound like a book, just like this one. It's not like a multi-fold. Digipacks are usually about the same size as a Blu-ray. They're not usually this tall. Also, like if they come with a booklet, it's usually separate. In a media book, the book is always attached to the book. And Then you got your trays with the movie there. You got the 4K, the Blu-ray, and you know, in the book in the middle, you know, you got all kinds of photos and essays and all that stuff that you would normally expect. And yeah, so this has all the traits of a media book, not really a digipack. So, but I'm sure I'll be the only one to call it that. Everyone else will be saying digipack, digipack. So Little Darlings is from, I think it's 1980, and it's a summer camp movie. Like I guess it's sort of a coming of age a little bit of a comedy, a little bit of a drama. But it's a fun kind of camp movie. It's a girls' camp, so it's all girls at this one camp, and you know, there's a guys' camp across the lake. And the camp in this movie is the same camp that was used in Friday the 13th Part 6. So it's kind of fun to look at the buildings, look at some of the scenery, and you can kind of, you know, go back, and if you've seen Part 6 enough, which I've seen a lot, you can, you know, kind of even remember what some of the buildings looked like back in the day. It's kind of fun, you know, to keep that in mind. But this movie is about these girls, and they go to camp, and they kind of start arguing over who's lost their virginity and things like that. And they're kind of young. They're around you know, 15 years old. The two lead characters, Tatum O'Neal and Christy McNichols. They're you know, supposed to be 15 years old, and so they're having a well, a bet ends up coming up, and it's which girl could lose their virginity first would win this other girl's money. You know, she puts up some prize money, and it's up for grabs. So so you have Team Ferris and Team Angel. Christy McNichols plays Angel. Don't let the name fool you. And then Tatum O'Neal plays a, you know, kind of a rich girl. Neither one really fit into camp very well. Honestly, most of the girls seem they seem kind of horrible to hang around with, because they're just constantly fighting. It just feels like there would be a lot of tension in there. But that's pretty much what the movie's about, and they both set their sights on different guys. Ferris, the rich girl, sets her sight on one of the camp counselors, you know, camp director type guy. He's an older guy for sure, and you know, very very inappropriate. But that's who she wants to get. And Christy McNichols, she picks a boy from the camp, the boys' camp across the lake, and that is a young Matt Dillon. And so that was pretty cool to, you know, see him in the movie. And so they go on a few dates, and, you know, they see how things go. The girls realize that, you know, what are they going to do for protection? So they steal the camp bus, and they go to a gas station and try to get condoms out of the bathroom. You know, the gas station, that was kind of a fun scene as well. You know, and there's food fights and the normal camp shenanigans that goes on, and you know, of course, Ferris does certain things to try to win over, you know, her guy, you know, with the fake drownings and things like that. Yeah, there's a lot in here to keep you entertained, I think. Like I said, I got so much nostalgia for it. I could be wearing maybe the nostalgia glasses a little bit. So there's some really great Christy McNichols movies, and you know, she didn't act like later on. I mean, like everything I think I saw from her was from the 80s. There was one called The Pirate Movie, which was really good. I enjoyed that one. too as a kid. I enjoyed The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. That was a great one. That one's got her brother in the movie is played by Dennis Quaid, and you know, she's an upstart singer. He's like an established kind of mid-level star, you know, in the bar circuit or whatever. And you know, that one's a real fun movie. Well, it's a really good movie. It's actually a little tragic, but so yeah, I mean, and none of her movies seem to be ever get like released past the VHS level. So to see Little Darlings come on 4K is amazing. Do I recommend it? Sure. It's expensive though, and you know, I'm not sure if everyone will enjoy this one as much as I did. So we'll see. Maybe you can wait for the sale, or you know, some kind of sale or something, and pick this one up. But you know, it is really cool packaging. So if you're just into like really cool packaging, and you know, plus I think it's a good movie, go ahead and pull the trigger and you know, pick it up. I think you'll enjoy it. I think most people would enjoy it. There's definitely elements there. I think both these movies are very rewatchable, and I found both entertaining. And I think they're both, with the special packaging, the limited release, I think they're both worth paying the price. And you know, it's some of the better releases I think that Vinegar Syndrome has done. So yeah, I'd say go ahead and pick these up. And that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor and leave that like, you know, hit that like button. And if you're unsubscribed to the channel, I invite you to do so. And as always, stay safe, have fun, keep watching those movies. I'll see you on the next one.